Last night, to set the tone, Kansas is down 4 points entering that last 4 minute segment, the 10th war.
All right,
So
are we
Arch,
good?
to set the tone, this is coming after the media timeout. This is
Yep.
that 10th war, the 10th 4 minute segment of the game. And notice Oklahoma is up by 4 points. But the way that I look at it is it's kind of like its own separate game, Arch. It's like a game to 8 points. Sometimes you look back and it's, the score of the last 4 minute segment is more than 8 points. But if you think about that, every possession means more. There's more fouls called. But what you're really trying to do offensively is get quality shots, and those usually mean taken by your best player. And nobody does that better than Bill Self.
So I think, this first clip, right out of the timeout, down 4, they're going to go side out of bounds. A lot of teams will just get the ball in bounds, as you know, and then they'll run their play. Very few teams in college are going to run side out of bounds off the action to score. But I thought it was interesting to come out of the timeout, and you can kind of see this first clip. They isolate Abaji on a quick high field where they're flaring over the top. They bring the 5-man up top with the flare. They occupy the ball side corner. They have Brown taking the ball out of bounds, and they put their best offensive player, a perimeter player, in a high side situation. And you can say they lift the floor, and they tried to go right at them out of bounds to get a quick basket out of a timeout, and it draws a foul.
Which is so important, right? Because they weren't in the bonus, and they're going to therefore get to the bonus one foul earlier. But the other point is Oklahoma on side out of bounds defense denies. They're chin on shoulder. They're trying to get a 5-second count. They're man to man. And if you notice number 2 here for Oklahoma, he does a pretty good job there of holding, but he goes all the way to the ball side corner, and notice like all 4 defenders out on the court, they're playing no catch. So it's a great design. And again, it didn't lead to a basket, but it led to that foul. So Kansas is 1 for 1. By the way, Abaji is their best offensive player, and Brown is their best passer in this situation.
Right. So this play leads to underneath out of bounds offense, right back to back. And this was a great design with the close the gate or the elevator action. But the bottom line is they go right out of bounds to score to their best player again. He, at that point in time, he wasn't scoring a ton, which gives you the credit to Bill Self saying we're going to our best player regardless of how his game is going. But he goes right back to the action, to their best player underneath out of bounds. And you can kind of see the design here as it gets ready to go.
Notice the screen when they pinch the defender off, they close the gate. Boom, 2 great screens, but you have to make the shot, right? Arch, he misses it. Notice the score. Again, nothing's changed, but so now he's called his number twice. Obviously, Abaji delivers because he's a terrific player. On this one, Abaji is now the inbounder.
Right.
And he starts to run across. Number 55 from Oklahoma, worried about the lob, him curling for a lob, which you always have to worry about when you play Kansas. And it turns into a wide open 3-point shot off a flare screen. Again, a very good design. Got to give McCormick credit for setting a great screen, and all plays only work if the shooter makes the shot. So he goes back to back clutch 3-point shots.
It's funny, very few times, but they go side out of bounds 2 and underneath out of bounds 1 for baskets. It's not throw the ball in bounds and let's get a good shot. It's score right away off the action, and 2 big threes by him. That's why right now he's got to be player of the year in the league. So right now it's a tie ball game with about 90 seconds to go. And in this one right here, they sort of get into their flow offense. And as you can tell, they don't panic. And he's not calling timeout. He's relying on his offense. And you can see they kind of run their offense under control. They get a long closeout by a center on Jalen Wilson, which is a mismatch. And he doesn't settle. He draws another foul, which was big because at the end of the day, he had to go to the line on this one with 1:33 to go. And you can kind of tell that they got a
So
mismatch on their flow out of
four
transition.
consecutive possessions, foul, foul, 3-point shot, 3-point shot. They're 4 for 4 after the last media timeout on offense.
Yeah, and then this one, he makes both free throws to go up 2. Now, I thought this was a great deal by Porter Moser. It's right after the free throw. They're down by 2, and Porter Moser calls a set play himself. And he goes with a little step up action, guard on guard, which is going to require communication. And like a lot of people, they go screen or slip out. They clear the side for Jordan Goldwire and need a basket, need a foul. Porter Moser draws up a clear out on the side of the floor, and it wipes everybody out, and he gets fouled. So he goes to the line here, and he's able to tie the ball game at 60. But again, think about the situation that occurs. They were up 4, now they're down 2. And I thought Oklahoma did a really good job right here, coming back and trying to draw a foul more importantly than anything. But they slip him out, they get a layup, he goes to the line, and it's 60-60 now with Kansas ball.
And again, Arch, to kind of clarify the 10th war, that last 4-minute segment of the game, remember, I think it was 56-52 Oklahoma. So
Yep.
Right now, Kansas is +4 to have the game tied up here with 1 minute to go. So now let's keep going. Now, this is their 5th opportunity since the media timeout.
Right. So they come right back off of those 2 free throws with a set play. And for the 3rd time in a row, Bill Self's going to draw up a quick, what we would call magic action or a stagger handoff. And he's going to clear it out for Obagi to get a drive. It's a great play design because not only do they get the magic action, but you can tell their point guard is almost doubling it with the undercut. So they're clearing it out, almost confusion. And Obagi all the way downhill, 2 more points on another set play.
Can you be efficient? Can you get your best player shots? So right now, Obagi's gone 3-point shot, 3-point shot, 2-point drive. And remember, he also got the crucial foul, which started all of this off. But keeping track now, Kansas has had 5 offensive possessions since that initial media timeout. They're 5 for 5 in scoring or getting fouled.
So Oklahoma went down. There was a broken play, and they were able to secure an easy 2-point shot with about 30 seconds to go to tie the ball game up. So they called timeout, if I'm not mistaken, in this last possession. Probably had a set play call, and
It came out in the 1-3-1.
And they came out and showed zone.
Yeah, and then went to man. And again, why would Porter Moser do that? Because of what you and I are talking about. He's feeling right now that Kansas is in a rhythm coming out of timeouts. So he tried to just, if nothing else, keep them off balance, change the game for Bill Self a little bit. So it's not just a straightforward man-to-man. So it's 1-3-1, and then Kansas has to stop for a second and ask, are they going to stay in 1-3-1 or go man-to-man? So they go 1-3-1 look to man-to-man. So it kind of takes them out of a rhythm. And now Kansas has to play basketball and really run their flow game. No set play here.
Right. So you can tell they didn't pause. They didn't reset. They just kept playing. And what a big shot.
Huge shot. That wasn't a set, but I thought what it represented, Arch, is what you mentioned. Kansas did not panic. They were poised. They were confident. But the streak's still alive, right? Now they've had 6 offensive possessions, and they've either gotten fouled or scored on all 6 possessions.
Yeah.
Now here's the other one, up 3. And now Kansas is going to foul intentionally so that Oklahoma cannot tie the game with a 3-point shot. Kansas almost does not execute here. They fouled late. And before you show it, Arch, what I don't like about this, even though it ended up working, you never want to foul intentionally when the offense has the basketball right on the 3-point line. Because all that offensive player has to do at the last second is rise for a shot. And now you fouled him in the act of shooting, versus
Anything can
fouling
happen.
him on the court. And, what we like to do is foul right at that 10-second half court line. I would say the benefit that Kansas got by waiting so long is the clock went from 11 and it really gets down here. So just kind of watch that. But again, back to execution. Oklahoma needs a 3-point shot to tie. There's the foul late. They don't get a 3-point shot up, though. That's the bottom line. They can't tie the game.
Right. So what happens is they go to the foul line. He makes both free throws. It's a 1-point game. And this is the situation that you deal with when you try to choose to foul, is that now you have to inbound the ball against pressure. And first opportunity to take the ball out of bounds for Kansas. Thought Oklahoma did a really good job of making it difficult and got a deflected ball. But their press offense here, as you can see, they break.
The other part with Bill Self is he has a timeout. Like right now, the inbounder's not in dire straits with no timeout. Kansas has one timeout left. Again, more credit given to Kansas, a team who knows how to win late in games.
And, one of the points I think we make all the time as we're coaching our players is when you're in these situations inbounding the ball and a guy is running to get the ball 1,000 miles an hour to catch it, always lead him with a bounce pass.
That's right.
You throw an air pass to a guy running 1,000,000 miles an hour with a guy chin on shoulder, not only can he deflect it off of you, steal it, but he could also make a very uncomfortable catch for the guy running to the ball where he could bobble it and it can turn it over. So big point that we always used to make in these situations is press offense. You're looking to run the baseline if you have it and lead with a bounce pass. They're always easier to catch, harder to steal. On this one, the inbounder gets lucky. That's a 50-50 play right there. Oklahoma made it difficult, but it's back to Kansas ball. So now they have 4.9 seconds. It's a dead ball press offense. They're not allowed to run. They do have a timeout available, and they go with the old football play here, which guys are running now 4 across the baseline, and they're going to run routes.
He fell down. And again, that's what's great about having a timeout available, so that any type of confusion, sometimes that happens, a guard falls down, that timeout is crucial. Instead of it being Oklahoma's ball, Kansas has another crack at it.
Right. So now they have to take the ball out the length 3rd time in a row. And this is what you can get in with when you foul. This inbound can be very, very difficult. That's why your special teams and your press offense has to be great end of game, because this could change the flow of a game with a turnover. So they're going to take it out again after the turnover. This is his 3rd inbound play full court, was his 3rd different press offense alignment. Can't run. And again, he gets lucky with that air pass.
Yep, bounce pass.
Because they're shooting the gap hard for the steal. Always try to lead the guy full speed to the baseline with a bounce pass. Easier to catch, harder to steal. But he does get it, and they do foul. So now Kansas.
And Arch, I want to go back. Could you show that again?
Yep.
The other part is, if you watch Brown here, and something that a long time ago, as the ultimate slow player who's a point guard, me, playing in the Big East Conference, trying to get open against quicker players or in these crucial situations, when Brown sets the screen on number 2, like, you don't set the screen, stop, and then just run full speed to the baseline, because you've already said it twice. The defender who's desperate is running foot, and he's matching your speed, and it's all of a sudden the inbounder, it becomes a deflected pass. He's not getting open. As soon as he sets the screen on number 2, what he should do is flip his hips and block him out. Stop, hold him, and then now you negate his speed, and then you break straight back to the ball instead of screen and cut. It's screen, stop, box out, be physical, hold, and then break the catch. And then the pass should be a bounce pass. Hopefully Bill Self's listening. If we could just give him one tip, you've got 999 out of 1,000 covered. throwing a bounce pass would be something I would highly recommend.
It is, as a guard who's broke back a million times to get the ball when they're going to foul you, it's hard to catch that air pass.
It's a bad
sometimes.
feeling. It's a bad feeling. A bounce pass is easier to catch, but if you block out first, use his momentum against him, it's easier to receive that bounce pass as well. But look, we're talking about Kansas, whether they needed 3 times to get the ball in or not. They got the ball in, used the timeout, no turnovers. And then if you look at the score, they made free throws.
They made the 2 free throws to keep it back at 3. So the plan of fouling, having to inbound, and then go back to the line puts it at 4 seconds. Now,
So this is a good one.
One question to ask you: with 4 seconds to go, is Kansas going to foul again?
I don't think so, because if you think about a catch by number 1, Arch, with 4 seconds left, how many dribbles does whoever
4.
receives this pass? That's right.
Dribble a
I think
second.
that's something we talked a lot about to our players. If it's 4.7, I would say you have 4 dribbles. If it's 4.0, you have 4 dribbles. If it's 3.2, you have 3 dribbles. But looking at that, I think you overcomplicate the game. Like if a guy makes a 55-foot shot to tie it, guess what? We'll go to overtime. What you don't want is a good 3-point shot. And I think you have Oklahoma where you want them. But what I would now call this is shadow. So what Kansas does a great job of here is the inbounder is not guarded, right?
Right.
But if you think about the player that is guarding him, I would say it's Brown. And in a sense, they kind of have 2-on-1 defense, and they keep the basketball in front of them. So notice Oklahoma does not even get the ball across half court. They almost build like a picket fence against them. And if you notice, it's a catch. You know, if he wants to throw the ball up the court, he can't. Throws it to the inbounder. It's matched. Look, 5-on-5, count them up. Everybody has a man. And now, great job. It's a 55-foot shot. That was a great win, but that was as well coached, disciplined, hard fought, well executed win as a team can have. Like you said, Arch, every game in the Big 12 this year on the road is a quad 1 victory away from home. Those are like gold. Kansas, I know their goal is to win the Big 12. This was a step in the right direction. Hard fought. Go back to Abaji's scoring opportunities. And how about Brown's 3-point shot? And am I right? I don't think Kansas had a single possession where they didn't get fouled or
come up
scored.
empty. They did. Yeah, they went the entire 4-minute period.
We scored
fouled,
15 points. Yeah. So back to that initial score, and I don't know if you could show it right now, but I think it was 56-52. So if you add that up, Kansas, there it is. Kansas had 15, and Oklahoma ended up with 11. I think it was 15. Looking at the last clip, 10, right?
15-10 down the stretch.
So that's what it would look like in the locker room. You know, you could walk in there and say, look, fellas, like we've talked about all year long, in the Big 12 on the road, all games are tough. We're playing in America's best conference. As a reminder to you, when we left our media timeout and entered that 10th war, we were down 4 points. You know what? Everyone in the locker room is going to look up at you and say, really? We were down 4? Yeah. Didn't feel like it because they were so composed. They're so used to it. But that last war was won 11-5, right? I'm sorry, 15. What did we say? 15?
15-10.
15-10. You win the war 15-10. No, that's wrong, Arch. We can't even add.
It was 56-52. So you got 67-64 as our final. So can you add that up?
Yeah, 50, that's 11, right? Kansas had 11. No, Kansas had 15 because they had 52. So Kansas has 15 points, right?
15, yeah, 15. And then Oklahoma had 15-8 on the last.
I'm sorry, that's that. Yeah, two guys, but we're bad at that. 15-8 though. And I think that's the method. And that's something that's so important to give to your team, Arch, because we won the last war 15-8. We were down 4 entering the last war. This was a great victory. And what that sets the tone for Kansas is the next game, even at home, so that they get accustomed to thinking that the 10th war is theirs and that these are all going to be hard fought games the remainder of the year. Trust me, they already know that, but I think it's a great way of selling it to a young group of players.
Yeah, and Big 12, like we said, I mean, at the end of the day, Kansas is playing for not only the championship of the conference, but they're playing for a 1 seed. That win right there just bolsters the resume. Kansas right now is 8-2 versus quad 1-2 on the season. The only team in America that has more quad 1-2 wins is Wisconsin with 10, which is incredible, the year Wisconsin is having. But Baylor and Kansas both have 8 quad 1-2 wins on their resume. They're both heading for 1 seeds. They both won crucial road games yesterday as they continue to do that.